In this video, I'm going to teach you how to properly size, cut, and crimp the ends on our hydraulic hose. First, you're going to want to grab you a paint marker and come over here to the back corner behind the white line to where we have our hydraulic hose reel. You're going to see a cutting tool with a long tape measure painted next to, or taped next to it. We no longer use this cutting tool. The type of cable that, or the type of hose that we use is not compatible with it. That is for our older style hose. You may end up using that at some point. It's completely plastic or rubber, whereas this type of hose has a braided steel in it that this can't cut through. So instead, we'll be using this little portable handsaw or a bandsaw. And first, you're going to determine how long of a piece of hose you're going to need. I have found that for the 750s and the 550s, the 19 and 20, we're going to need a 19-inch hose, and we're going to need a 20-inch hose. For the 1200s, you'll need something like a 23-inch and a 24-inch. So you're going to cut two hoses for each. And then when you're getting into the 2440, I like to do like 28 and 30. So they're about an inch, 2 inches difference. If you want to be for sure, you can grab a tape measure, or there's a roll of Taylor's tape on the desk there that you can use. But this is the general measurements that I use. So you're going to go ahead and pull it out to where you want it at. Today I'm doing 20 inches. And then I'm going to mark right next to where this cutter's at. And I kind of just use that cutter to hold the hose in place so I'm not wrestling with it while I'm doing this. Then I drag that mark out to my next cutting line, which is going to be 19. And I mark another line. Then I'm going to cut it. Now, I can't do this with one hand, so I'm going to go grab my stand real quick. All right, we're going to find our first 20-inch line that we drew out. Take our bandsaw and cut right through this. Now, it doesn't like to cut through here, so you kind of got to give it a nice wiggle back and forth, and you want to make sure you get as even and flat and level of a cut as possible. About like that. You're going to have a little bit of fraying and a little bit of bubbling on the end there, but that is not going to hinder what we're doing here. So go ahead and repeat the process for your second cut, and then we're going to move over to the crimping station. This is our hose end crimper. It is technically not ours. So if you see anybody trying to fiddle with these hoses or any of the components of this thing, tell them to stop. If there's anything broken about this unit, you need to call our hydraulic hose end supplier and our hydraulic hose supplier. They are the ones who lease this unit to us, and they will fix it and or replace it. They instructed me to tell you guys that. All right, so in your drawers here, you're going to find a couple different boxes that you'll probably never have to use. And what those are those different crimper sizes that fit down inside this block here. If you ever need to change that, ask somebody, they'll help you do it. But that is the correct size for what we use, mainly. Every once in a while, there'll be a crazy one, but for the most part, especially for the 248 that you are building, the 248 kit that you are installing on one of these broadcasters, this yellow-toothed crimper size is the one you will be using, okay? Next, you're going to want to go down a couple drawers, and you're going to find these FJIC swivels. The size we use for the 248 is the 3/8 by 3/4-16. Do not use any other size. It will not fit onto the components you're going to use. If you see that our supply is getting low, you need to let somebody know so we can order more. All right, so now we're going to start the crimping. You're going to notice that you have teeth on the inside of this hose fitting. You're going to push it down over the top and then kind of screw it down over until it just stops. You won't be able to twist it anymore, or very easily, and you know that you've came all the way to the top, or as much as that hose can go. Inside of this device here, there's a little lip all the way around, about, I'd say like an inch, maybe inch and a quarter up from the bottom. And that lip is going to rest on the bottom of here, or you're going to rest this on that lip. And that's how you know what your proper spacing is. So you're just going to let that rest right on that lip. It's not very big lip, so you kind of got to catch it. And then you're going to grab your control here and press down. I forgot to plug it in. 1 second. All right, now that our unit is plugged in, catch that lip, kind of hold it in place, keep your fingers out of the vise, keep it away from the machine. This sucker will squeeze your little fingers off, so keep it out of there. And then you're just going to press it down on the table. And I just I just hold it until the gauge down here, there's a gauge, until that gauge stops at, I think it's maybe 700 PSI, and it will just stop there. And as you heard at the end there, just the noise stopped changing as well. Just give it a couple seconds at that setting, and then your hose end will be crimped to the hose. You don't want to have a big old balloon at the top here. You want it to be a nice slight balloon, and that's right over the top of your hose end. If you have a big old bubble at the top up here, that means that you did not have this set on that lip in there properly. And you want it to be evenly crimped all the way across. All right, I'm going to do this one more time just so you can watch the gauge. Just like that. All right, now you have two properly sized, cut, and crimped hoses. Remember to do all 4 ends and make sure that they are all evenly crimped without a huge bubble at the end here. All right, now you're good to go. These should be ready to install with your 248 kit or to put into your 248 kit for shipping. Good luck.